Let's get real for a second. Texting a girl you like can either make you look smooth and confident or completely clueless. Too many guys fall into the trap of overthinking, sending boring messages, or worse, coming across as desperate. You can't just shoot her a simple "hey" and expect magic to happen. If you want to stand out and actually grab her attention, you need to understand how to text with purpose, style, and confidence. And yes, you can get better at it. It's not rocket science, but most guys still don't know the first thing about it. The mistake most guys make? They don't think about the message before they hit send. They don't consider the balance between being interesting, funny, or genuine. Sure, you can't overcomplicate texting, but there's a fine line between being too eager and too aloof. Here's the kicker. It's not always about what you say, but how you say it. This isn't some cheesy, be mysterious tip. It's about using real, relatable techniques that let you be your best self while still keeping her interested. Now here's the million-dollar question. How do you avoid looking desperate and actually leave a lasting impression through text? Simple. If you learn a few key principles, you'll drastically increase your chances of getting that girl to respond, smile, and maybe even want to see you again. You won't need to bombard her with endless emojis or the same recycled compliments. If you follow these tips, you'll be the guy who stands out as different, the one who knows how to text like a confident man, not a texting robot. Stick around for the next 5 tips that will change the way you text girls you like and put you on the fast track to making a connection that lasts. 1. Stop trying to be Mr. Nice Guy. Let's face it, being too nice is one of the quickest ways to lose a girl's interest, even though it sounds like the opposite should be true. You might think that showing her you're a good guy will earn you her affection, but in reality, it can make you seem dull, predictable, or worse, desperate. Here's the truth no one talks about. Girls don't want to date a guy who just agrees with everything they say and does whatever they want, just to get approval. Women value strength, independence, and someone who doesn't feel the need to constantly win their favor. That doesn't mean you should be rude or inconsiderate, but you do need to stop overdoing the Mr. Nice Guy act. If you're constantly trying to please her, texting all the time, complimenting her every move, jumping at her every command, you're essentially showing her that you have nothing else going on. You're the guy who's always available, which ultimately makes you less attractive. It's like you've lost your own personality to chase after hers. And let's be honest, people want to be with someone who has their own life, goals, and passions, not someone whose entire existence revolves around keeping them happy. One way you can avoid falling into this trap is by becoming more of a challenge. Now, we're not saying you should play hard to get or act like a jerk. You can still show you care, but do it in a way that doesn't scream, "I'm obsessed." Take some time to step back. Let her miss you. If you're always texting or always available, you're giving up the chance for her to get curious about you. The best connections happen when there's a little bit of mystery. And mystery doesn't mean silence. It means not always revealing everything at once. So here's a challenge. Next time she texts you, don't rush to reply immediately. Take a moment, think about what you're going to say, and respond with something a little more interesting than a simple, "Hey." A well-thought-out, playful message shows you have other things going on and that you're not just a guy who's desperate for her attention. Being the nice guy might get you some initial attention, but it won't create long-term attraction. By being more confident and a little less eager, you'll be on the path to making a much better impression. 2. Don't text her too much or too little. Okay, we've all been there. You finally get her number and immediately feel like you have to text her all the time. You want to be the first one to text and the last one to reply, right? Wrong. While it may feel like constant communication will keep the spark alive, the reality is texting too much makes you seem needy, desperate, or downright annoying. But here's the flip side. Texting too little can be just as disastrous. If you go days without responding or your texts feel like afterthoughts, she'll start to wonder whether you're even interested. A lack of effort might come off as cold or disinterested, which is just as unattractive. So, how do you find the sweet spot? Simple. Balance. You need to keep her on her toes, not bombard her with texts, and definitely not disappear for days. Think of texting like a dance. Too many texts too soon. You're leading a little too fast and she's not in sync with you. Too few texts? You're basically leaving her hanging and unsure whether you're even into her. You've got to strike the right rhythm, and it comes down to timing, energy, and above all, respect for each other's time. Here's where a lot of guys get it wrong. They overcompensate for their initial nerves by texting too much. It's almost like they're trying to fill every gap in the conversation. Guess what? It's okay to leave some space. Texting shouldn't be a marathon. Pace yourself. Don't feel the need to flood her with messages. If you're thinking about her too much to the point where your phone never leaves your hand, chances are it's not healthy for the relationship. Women appreciate someone who is confident enough not to obsessively chase them down with message after message. On the flip side, don't be the guy who takes forever to reply either. One-word responses, random gaps in conversation, or failing to reply promptly can give off the vibe that you don't care. If she's sending you a decent message, at least respond with something engaging, not just cool or sounds good. A well-thought-out, timely response keeps the conversation going without giving her the feeling you're either uninterested or just playing games. Balance means showing interest without overdoing it. Keep her curious and wanting more, but not waiting forever. Texting is just one piece of the puzzle, but do it right and watch how your communication becomes more fluid, fun, and most importantly, effective. On 3, compliments are fine, but don't overdo it. All right, let's address something that a lot of guys get wrong when they're texting a girl they like: compliments. Now, we all know you want to make her feel good, and giving compliments is a great way to show appreciation. But here's the thing, if you overdo it, you can actually kill the attraction. I get it. You might think you're just being nice, but constantly complimenting her on how beautiful she looks or telling her she's perfect every chance you get. That can make things feel forced, like you're trying too hard. And when you try too hard, it becomes obvious. We all want to feel good about ourselves, but showering her with endless compliments too early can come off as insincere. Trust me, she knows when you're just saying it, because you're trying to get her attention. Here's why this matters. Women aren't looking for constant validation from the guy they like. If anything, over-the-top compliments can make you seem insecure, like you're depending on her approval to feel good about yourself. You need to come off as confident and comfortable in your own skin, rather than relying on constant praise to boost your ego. The key here is moderation. Compliments work best when they're thoughtful and genuine and used at the right time. Saying something nice when it's warranted, when she's showing off something she's proud of, or maybe when she does something genuinely impressive, goes much further than continuously repeating, "You're so pretty," or "You're amazing." If you're looking for attraction to build, it's all about balance. Complimenting her looks once in a while is great, but don't ignore other aspects of who she is, her intelligence, her sense of humor, or her drive. Compliment her in ways that go beyond just the surface level and make it more meaningful. After all, the deeper you can connect with her, the stronger the attraction. And here's the kicker. When you're constantly laying it on thick, you're actually lowering your own value. People value what they can't have too easily. Compliment her and then let it rest. Move on with the conversation instead of digging into a compliment tunnel. In the end, no one wants to feel like they're only appreciated for their looks, and constant compliments won't earn you any more respect or attraction. You want her to value you for being more than just another guy who thinks the world of her physical appearance. So be strategic with your compliments, keep it real, and keep it classy. 4. The one-word response mistake. Let's take a moment to address something that way too many guys are guilty of: the one-word response. If you're sending her nothing but cool, okay, or yeah, then let me break it to you. You're probably making a big mistake. It's time to wake up and realize that texting is supposed to be a conversation, not a checklist of dead-end replies. Think about it. If she's putting in the effort to start a conversation with you, and all you can muster in return is one-word responses, you're essentially telling her, "I'm not interested enough to put in more effort." Even if you're thinking you're just being chill or playing it cool, it comes off as lazy. It's almost like you're waiting for her to do all the work, which will get old really fast. Women want to be with someone who can engage with them, not someone who gives bare minimum answers. The mistake here? You're expecting her to carry the conversation, and eventually, that gets exhausting for her. Relationships, whether they're potential or casual, take work from both sides. If you aren't showing initiative or offering something of substance in your texts, she's not going to want to keep trying. Now, I get it. Maybe you're nervous, unsure of what to say, or just don't feel like having a deep conversation. That's fine. But here's the thing. If you want to keep her interested and let her know you're genuinely invested, you need to start offering more than one-word replies. It doesn't have to be a novel, but a thoughtful, interesting response goes a long way. Ask questions, offer an opinion, tell a joke. Share something that happened to you during the day. Anything that gives her more than just okay. A simple shift from cool to, I know what you mean, that's totally how I feel too, is a start. The key is making the conversation flow and giving her something to reply to. So here's the advice. Step up your texting game. Don't let the conversation die a quick, lifeless death. It's not about overwhelming her with constant chatter, but engaging her. She's more likely to keep texting you if you show her there's depth to your thoughts and a genuine interest in what she has to say. And if you're stuck in a cycle of one-word replies, it's time to wake up and change things. You're better than that. She deserves more than cool, and so do you. 5. Be playful, not pushy. All right, let's have a serious chat about one of the most common mistakes guys make, crossing the line from playful banter to being downright pushy. If you're texting a girl and you feel like you've got to constantly press her for answers or push for a date right away, you're setting yourself up for failure. It's not just about being persistent. It's about being respectful of her space and understanding where the line is. Being playful is one of the most attractive things you can do over text. It shows you're confident, fun, and not taking things too seriously. But there's a catch. It has to remain fun. The moment your playful teasing or jokes turn into pressure, whether that's pushing for a date or questioning her every move, you lose her. No one wants to feel like they're being constantly pursued or interrogated. A lot of men slip into this trap because they get overly eager. They read into every little thing the girl says or do and feel the need to immediately act on it. But here's where I need you to hear me out. She's a person, not a prize you're chasing. The more you chase, the more you push her away. Women don't like to feel like they're being won over with a full-on effort all the time. If you're not keeping things light and playful, you're essentially making her feel cornered, and that's a massive turnoff. So how do you be playful without being pushy? It's all about keeping things balanced. Tease her, but don't cross any boundaries. Don't push too hard for personal info. Don't always make everything about getting her to meet up. Let her have some breathing room and space to come to you when she's ready. A lighthearted, fun conversation is the goal. You're creating a vibe, not putting on a show. Another key part of this is giving her the time and space to respond. If you're constantly double texting or pushing her to reply quickly, that's not playful. That's impatient and needy. Just relax. Give her time to feel that same playful energy you're putting out without pressure to act on it immediately. If you're constantly texting her in a pushy way, you're missing the mark. Confidence is key, and one of the best signs of confidence is being able to take things slow and enjoy the banter without always trying to move forward too fast. Stay playful, stay fun, but never ever push. Here's a truth you might not want to hear. If you're always playing it safe with your texting, trying too hard to please, or constantly waiting for the perfect moment, you're probably never going to stand out. The reality? Most guys fail in texting not because they don't have what it takes, but because they don't give themselves permission to be bold. So what are you going to do next time you're texting a girl? Take some risks, be confident, and stop overthinking every message. Drop your experiences in the comments below, and I'll reach out personally. Let's connect and make sure you don't miss out on the next level of success.